What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Seth, and today we're going to be talking about Trove and how you can actually get yourselves prepared for U10. Now, this is all subject to change, okay? Because U10 obviously isn't out yet, and the devs are very wishy-washy about a lot of the things that they've been making as statements. So, based off of the information that we have so far, that's kind of where we're going to be determining how you can actually get yourselves prepared, what items you should go for, what items you shouldn't go for. There's certain things that you should be investing your time into, and then there's other things that you might be grinding right now that you shouldn't actually be grinding for. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. It's probably going to be a bit of a shorter video because of that. So I keep on looking to the left because I've got stuff going on my second monitor. Let me get rid of that so it doesn't distract me. First and foremost, the gems. That's a big thing that's on everybody's mind. So they did end up confirming, they didn't confirm, but we saw in a video I just put out yesterday that U10 is going to be exclusively in the new Geode biome. So let me just go on over to the Trovian Atlas as a quick example here, because the Trovian Atlas is going to be accessible to us when U10 ends up releasing. For those of you wondering, U10's release date is set for winter, so we don't actually know when it's coming out. But we're going to be able to use the Trovian Atlas at our leisure, just on our personal character. And there was not a U10 portal after this right here. Instead, there was the Geode Sanctuary, and then there was a U8 version of the Geode Surface, U9 version of the Geode Surface, and then there was just U10. So U10 is exclusive to the Geode biome, and with that, it kind of explains a couple things and also makes some things a little bit more confusing. Namely, shadow gem boxes that you end up getting from primal worlds, prime worlds, not primal worlds, right? So if we end up going into a prime uber world, we're going to end up getting shadow gem boxes, and those shadow gem boxes can end up dropping any type of different gem elemental, right? Now, we don't know 100% because the devs didn't necessarily confirm whether or not the shadow gem boxes are going to end up dropping the new gem type. They did confirm that any pre-existing gem boxes, like if you're like me and you're a hoarder, I've got like over 3,000 shadow gem boxes right here. These are useless. I don't even know why I'm saving them. I guess because I'm too lazy to open them, right? But these are useless right now because the shadow gem boxes may end up actually dropping the new gem type. We don't know yet, but they did confirm that current shadow gem boxes will not end up dropping it, like current ones that are already in the game. So it's implied, even if not said directly, that any shadow gem boxes after the U10 update ends up coming out that you end up getting as a drop will end up having a chance of actually dropping the new elemental gem type, right? And it's going to be a new elemental gem type. It's not going to be a new tier of gems. So let's just keep that in mind, guys and gals, because lots of people, the biggest thing people are wondering about is, does that mean that my current gems are useless? No, there's just going to be, I don't know if it's going to be another tab here or set across here. Like there's going to be an empowered gem. There's going to be lesser gems. They did confirm, but it's going to be a new gem color. That's it. And those gems may possibly end up having some new stats that are going to be exclusively used in U10. So interesting in that regard. Now, that's the other thing too, is they did confirm the exact same thing with the empowered gem boxes, but it was a little bit more implied that empowered gem boxes won't have a chance of getting the new gem altogether. We're not entirely sure on that one, but I'm just saying that with the lesser gem type, it seemed very much so that shadow boxes from the update on would end up dropping the new gem type, but empowered gem boxes, they weren't very clear on. Now, I can confirm that at the least, there's no reason to invest in empowered gem boxes right now, because if they end up actually dropping the new gems, they did at least confirm that any of the ones that are in the game right now already pre-existing obviously aren't going to end up dropping it. So even if you're a pay-to-win player, if you have tons of lunar souls, what have you, you don't want to spend your lunar souls on empowered gem boxes, and you most certainly don't want to spend your radiant pancakes, that's what we like to call them, radiant sovereigns, at this guy right here, not at least until the update ends up coming out. I kind of made a bit of a boo-boo mistake on that regard, because I was trying to get my hands on a diamond dragon egg right away because there's going to be a new primordial dragon. Now, that said, for those of you that do actually have an extra diamond dragon egg sitting, I was going to say kicking around in your inventory, right? Don't worry, you just keep that in your bank for right now. The way that the Geode, or the way that U10 is going to work is we had the Geode Sanctuary. That was phase 1 of the Geode updates. And then U10 is going to be phase 2. And then later in 2019, there's going to be phase 3. Now, phase 3 is where we're going to end up seeing the new Primordial Dragon. We're not going to see the new Primordial Dragon added in the U10 update, even though it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's probably going to be a weird type of alien creature. I don't know. All the Geode stuff is very strange. But they did at least confirm that. We are going to see new dragons from Bomber Royale, and maybe just new dragons from the game in general, that hopefully we'll be able to get most of them with the dragon effigy, but not necessarily ones from Bomber Royale. And speaking of which, that's a nice transition into the next topic for Bomber Royale, because I do want to confirm that by the way that they've implied, you know, again, this is all just kind of implied. The devs are very unspecific about these things because they think it's spoilers when they tell us this stuff. But this is also just my own a very educated guess based on like the way that they've developed the game and stuff. So these tokens right here, the bomb boxes, these are season 1 bomb boxes right here. These are going to swap out for season 2, I think, with the U10 update they've implied. And then also these Bomber Royale tokens are apparently going to change over to a new type of token. I would hope that with that, they're going to make all these other items cheaper. Or maybe they're just going to have it so that we can convert our tokens over. Or maybe just the new tokens are going to work for all of this stuff. Like, if they're smart about it, I would assume that the way they're going to do it is, let's just say that a Bomber Royale Season 2 token is going to work for everything that's in the store right now. You know, and then we could convert our Season 1 tokens to the new tokens. Because they've said that the new dragons that are coming out, like there's going to be a dragon coming from Bomber Royale, and then I think another dragon later, if I'm not mistaken. But those dragons are going to cost the new currency. So it would make sense to me for everything in the store to still be bought with the new coin, but then the new dragon itself would end up being from the new coin exclusively. That way it would kind of force us to play through Bomber Royale a bit more. And my point being, ladies and gents, is that we know without a doubt that the new items from Bomber Season 2 are going to end up costing the new tokens. So don't go out of your way grinding all of the Bomber Royale right now. Now, we are going to talk about different ways of making flux, kind of, at the later portion of this video, which we're already almost done, honestly speaking. But I did want to talk about just grinding in general, because you're going to want to kind of focus on getting as many stellars as you can. That's another thing, if you have the magic find, obviously. But you can see I got 2 full inventory pages, and then I'm saving my 3rd inventory page for me to just grind and do stuff, because otherwise my inventory is absolutely full. Now, the reason for this isn't because I want any of these stellars, honestly speaking, but you see like this one right here, see how it's got pearl on it? The devs did end up confirming that stellar gear from U10 and onward is going to end up loot collecting and dropping any of the pearls that they ended up actually having on the gear, which, you know, that's a nice fix, but honestly it's something that players have been asking for like years ago. So lately this has kind of been a trend with Trove, where they keep on adding these things that people have asked for a long time ago, and then asking like they're doing or acting like they're doing us a favor. I'm not trying to say that it's a bad thing. You know, it's great that we're going to be able to loot collect these and actually get tokens off them. It means that stellars aren't as useless as they previously were, because all we really get out of these is stellar souls, and we still don't really have a stellar soul sink. But the reason for this, folks, is because if you haven't already checked out my other videos talking about stellar gear will not forge up to crystal gear. The developers have confirmed that, and very unfortunate. Like this is I saw so many people in the comments so infuriated with this. I'm my heart's out to you guys, because it's absolutely stupid. They were sitting there and they kept reiterating that, oh, the reason your stellar gear doesn't become useless when U10 comes out is because you'll be able to get the pearls off of it. Yeah, that really makes it so that the gear isn't useless. No, just kidding. It does still mean that the gear is useless if we don't end up using stellar souls for the new crystal gear. Now, crystal gear has been also suggested that it's going to be exclusive to U10. So as far as Trove's end game is concerned, I mean, it seems like we're just going to be trying to rush the required power rank to get to U10 so that you can get your hands on the crystal gear, and then essentially you're just going to dump pretty much all of your hard work up to that point. Outside of stellar gems are always going to end up being useful you know, obviously. But the thing too that you gotta consider, again, talking about those shadow gem boxes, is that if the shadow gem boxes and even the empowered gem boxes end up having the new elemental gem type, it means that right now we cannot prepare ourselves by farming them up to end up getting the new gem just to loot collect it to end up getting the gem dust, because they did confirm that the new gems are also going to end up working similarly to all of the other gems, so you're going to be able to level them up the normal way. Speaking of the Geode area in general, lots of you guys and gals are probably wondering the same thing that lots of us are wondering. Why this whole Geode area that they worked so hard on, clearly, for some reason is completely detached from the rest of the game, completely separate from the rest of the game, right? And we were all thinking, okay, you know, all these new resources that we get out of the caves and stuff like that, they must be related to U10, so they don't really have their purpose yet. But unfortunately, the devs were talking about how the Geode surface and a lot of the resources that are going to be required for U10 are going to be exclusive to the new biome. So they've said that we can get a bit of a leg up when U10 comes out by having stuff, you know, some of the resources from the Geode caving system and everything like that. My guess is on metamatter and, you know, other resources like that. That is most likely going to end up making the big difference for the U10 stuff. Not necessarily any of the ore or anything like that, because the devs, unfortunately, very frustratingly enough, admitted that the way that they design things is, I mean, for lack of a better word, it's bad. It's bad game design by definition, in my mind, where they specifically said that they, you know, whenever new stuff comes out, they don't want players to be able to just get all the new stuff right away. So that's why they keep, with each new Trove update, adding a big bulk of new resources to grind from scratch so that it's an even grind for everybody involved, which is bad game design, because good game design, you know, is something that synergizes with the rest of the game. Very similarly, how you can see not only are we going to have new resources that are related to U10 specifically, well, U8, U9, and U10, just the Geode surface, and then U10 in general is going to end up having 5-star dungeons and being unique all to itself, and hopefully giving us some sort of an end game, besides just grinding a bunch of new costumes and stuff like that. But that's the point, is you look at the Geode update, and it's probably, like, besides the improvements update probably being one of the worst updates Trove has ever had in terms of content, I would say that the Geode update starts out really strong for maybe 25 to 40% of it, and then the rest of it is just trash. And unfortunately, the entire update, the big reason why it feels so useless, this area right here, is because it's so detached from the rest of the game. And unfortunately, that's become a habit with the Trove devs. It seems like whoever's in charge and making these decisions is doing the same thing with U10, which is very disappointing, because there's not that many ways that we can actually get ourselves prepared for U10. So anyways, just the quick short summary of, you know, all of that is, as far as the empowered gems and gems in general, you're going to wait till the update ends up hitting. Farming stellars is pretty much all you can end up doing. What you're going to want to do right now is try to sell as many pearls off as you can, because they're going to end up becoming super duper cheap when the update ends up actually hitting, because it's just going to be another thing that's going to break the Trove economy, right? But then in general, the Geode resources are still quite valuable. And you could take your bet, you know, of whether or not U10 is going to end up using these various resources. So you could get involved with, I would hope that tier 5 resources and other cave resources are actually involved with some of the U10 stuff, because if they are, it means that those prices will shoot through the roof. And Geode in general is pretty much the only real way of making flux right now in Trove, unfortunately. Besides Shadow Towers is probably the best, honestly. Just as far as a free-to-play player is concerned. There are still other ways of grinding flux, but those are just kind of the top two that come to mind. And I know that a lot of you have been asking me to make an updated flux farming tutorial video, especially because Plasmium is so useless now. But honestly, things are just fluctuating all the time, and I'm kind of waiting for the U10 update before I end up putting out like another proper tutorial explaining how free-to-play players end up grinding flux, just because when U10 comes out, it's going to be a game changer, man. Like, for better or worse, U10 is going to make a big difference to the game and change a lot of different mechanics, and we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. So either way, Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Sorry this video was longer than I expected. I thought it was actually going to be under, you know, maybe around 7 minutes or something like that. But there was stuff that was, you know, kind of popped up in my mind as I was recording the video. So either way, hopefully you found this video helpful in preparing yourselves for U10. It's really, really exciting, despite the fact that so many people are very, very worried about what the update's going to be like. But we'll save that for other times. I personally am still skeptical of what the update's going to be. But regardless, I'm excited for more content and a new area to grind and everything like that, because I think that it is going to end up surprising us in many ways, despite the fact that what they've shown so far is not very impressive. Thanks for watching, though. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, sub, hit that notification bell. And if you want to support me, check links in the description for my merch store, or you can sponsor the YouTube channel for a monthly fee by clicking that join button. And if you don't have any money, but you still want to help me out, there's a link down below to Gawkbox. Access that through your phone. It'll quite literally tell you what to do. You just download phone games, play them for a set amount of time or to a certain location, and then you get free money that you can throw my way. And it helps out very, very much. Domo to the people that have been doing that, by the way, because I can't really shout you out, unfortunately. Sayonara and stay epic, though, everybody.